Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today to talk about something called constructive conversations. Constructive conversations really is about the quality of person-to-person interaction in your company. And you as the leader group are the people who determine that quality of interaction. Now, very often, people will reply, well, it's a soft skill and it's all right for you as an entertainer. You need it, we don't really need it. But if you think about it, you need it more than anyone else because people are far more difficult to deal with than a spreadsheet. People do not drag their marriage, people do drag their marriage into work. A spreadsheet doesn't. You have a situation where you want to create constructive conversations which will take you to new places, take you to new heights, give you a new point of view. So, do you have people who feel unheard, disrespected? Many people have respect as one of their values in their companies. But, in fact, it doesn't just work if it's a value and you have people who are unheard, who feel disrespected because they're not given the opportunity to speak, because they're not given the respect and the acknowledgement when they do speak. So we end up in a situation where we're all in this very, very tense situation. People talk about the economy being very tense. We have scary situations that fees must fall, political parties that are pretty scary. And let's have a think about that, because I believe that no matter what those entities have mutated into, I believe they started out as a very strong impulse to be heard by people who had previously been denied the opportunity to be heard. So we sit there on the ledge as companies and we're waiting for the world to change so that we can get down off the ledge and then be creative. But we need a creative way of getting down off the ledge. And the very first step into being creative is playing the game of what if. Kids play the game of what if all the time. Adults do it differently, because when kids play what if, they say, what if I'm a superhero? What if I'm a princess? Adults play the game, what if the economy crashes? What if I lose my job? We're all in that fight, flight, or freeze situation where we can survive, but we can't create. I call it apocalypse now because we surround ourselves by gatekeepers. We're trying to keep people away. We're trying to stop people from coming close to us. The security guard is not incentivized to let people in. I love the security guards here. They have the little stick that goes beep and a red rope. That helps when 18 guys with AK-47s come along, you know. Oh, no, they've got a stick that goes beep. Anyway. Why am I doing that? It's just a little bit of play, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what I am looking for, is a play state. It's the antidote to stress. The play state, which companies think, oh, that's something that we shouldn't be doing. But think about play as modeling. Think of it as prototyping. You wouldn't want to get into an Airbus A380 if the guy hadn't played with clay before you ended up at 40,000 feet. Play is a very, very important ingredient to a constructive conversation. A constructive conversation is all about yes and. The essence of yes and is that you use what you've been offered as a basis on which to build, not a position to be attacked. So, let's unpack it. The first step, yes. You're accepting. Does that mean that you're being a yes man? Does that mean that you're agreeing? No, you're accepting this person's offer in the conversation as a place to start. You're accepting this as the place where we begin, and you're acknowledging and respecting the fact that they have actually contributed. Then you move on to something called tactical empathy, because I have heard an incredible talk by an FBI hostage negotiator. And he said, don't worry about yes. It doesn't mean you're agreeing. You can say yes 1,000 times. What you're doing is you're telling the person it's okay to talk. And if you do that, you will move on to a stage where you build a solution together. When you build a solution together, you do it by just adding on that one bit. Yes, and. Now, when you add on your one bit, people say, oh, it's not perfect. I don't have all the details. You don't need it. How many of us don't speak because we think that our solution is not yet perfect? Well, we don't need it. We can build it together. And that is a constructive conversation where we build towards a common goal. We build towards a goal which may look slightly different, but it is surprising, it's exciting, and what's more, you have so much more involvement, so much more participation from your people, because they don't feel like you're trying to sell them a bill of goods. They feel like they have built the solution with you. That is the incredible power of a constructive conversation. Again, people have said to me, well, it's all right, you don't deal in a hostile situation. Ladies and gentlemen, as a comedian, as an entertainer, very often you'll get a heckler in the crowd, someone who shouts out something hostile. I know that in your business dealings, you will also have sometimes a hostile or a tense situation. And how can constructive conversations help us build our way out of a hostile or a tense situation? Well, it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen, because one of the main ingredients to a constructive conversation is active listening. You can listen your way out of any situation, because someone who's being hostile to you is giving you the greatest gift that you can have. They're telling you what upsets them. They're telling you what they fear the most. They are telling you their pain. And if you listen, you can become incredibly agile. If you have a listening organization, you can build an organization which has incredible learning agility. Finally, I would like to say that you can be changed as well as change by compassion for other people, developing compassion for your own contribution. Knowing that you don't have to be the smartest person in the room all the time, you can leverage off the smarts of the other people in the room, the collective smarts, and you can grow a fantastic, compassionate organization. Ladies and gentlemen, just to wind up, I'm going to give you the first exercise in constructive conversations, a scratching the surface of the surface. And what I'd like you to do, please, is just to look at the person next to you. Okay, the person next to you, if you're an odd number, 1 or 2 or 3 groups of 2 or 3 people. What I'd like you to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to turn to that person and say the most simple thing. It's already the middle of January. Okay? Now, before you do that, I have chosen this exercise, ladies and gentlemen, because it is obviously something which we can agree with. Actually talk to a person, look them in the eye, and now the person who receives that information, look the person in the eye and go, yes. Just say yes. It is the most amazing thing. Did you hear what just happened? Did you hear how the energy went woof? We like to think that we are jaded. We like to think that we're too old. But the word yes releases the most incredible chemicals in your brain. We are all 3-year-olds and we want to hear the word yes. Now, once you've said yes, I'd like you to say and then add something on to that conversation. It doesn't matter what it is. Just add something on. You don't have to have the most perfect solution. Just add something on. Fantastic. And now that you have done that, the person you've spoken to, just say yes, and then add another thing on. Is that not the most surprising conversation you have had all day since you sat down? You have built something surprising. You have had the beginnings of a constructive conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Prodgers. I thank you very much.